Hi, Kevin. This is Jasmine from Target Dial. Do you have any questions about our services?
Yeah, what do you do exactly?
We specialize in AI-powered solutions designed to automate customer interactions like appointment scheduling, FAQs, and lead qualification. Our AI agents are custom trained on your business, allowing businesses to optimize workflows and reduce the need for manual operations, enhancing efficiency.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Thanks, Kevin. We love making business processes smoother and more efficient. Could you tell me a bit about your business and what you offer?
Yeah, so we're a grass cutting business. We offer grass cutting services.
Got it, Kevin. Grass cutting services are essential. What are you looking to automate in your business? Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. Looking to automate outbound lead qualification.
Awesome, Kevin. Outbound lead qualification can definitely save you a ton of time. What's your current monthly revenue range?
10K a month.
Great. Thanks for sharing that. Are you willing to invest in automating your lead qualification process to help grow your business?
Yeah, definitely.
That's fantastic to hear, Kevin. Let's get you set up with a call to discuss how we can tailor our services to your needs. What 30-minute time slot works best for you this week?
Hey guys, I hope you're having an incredible day. In today's video, we are going to be going into how you can set up your own AI voice agent that can call leads within 10 seconds of a form being submitted. It will continue to call them up to 8 times. And once they answer, they're able to take actions on behalf of your business so it can book meetings directly into your calendar. It will update GoHighLevel or your CRM with all the information from that call, such as if they qualify or not based on your qualifying questions that you need to know from the prospect, as well as any other potential objections that they might have. Now, if this sounds like something that you're interested in, you can join the No Code Nation, where you can get access to all of these blueprints for free. All you have to do is be active in the community. You can see we have a leaderboard. The top 3 on the leaderboard will get access to all of these automations completely for free. And if you are a business looking to implement AI voice agents for your company, you can book into a free strategy call and we can see if we're a good fit to work together. Now, if you do get value out of these videos, I'd highly appreciate a subscribe. It's free. It really helps support the channel and allows me to keep making videos like this. Now, with that being said, let's dive into probably one of the most complex automations that I've built to date. So AI voice agents are going to change the future. They are already changing the future, and whether you know it or not, you might have spoken to an AI agent without even realizing it. Now, the AI agent that I've designed and developed, it can call leads within 10 seconds of a Facebook ad, a Google ad, or a website form submission. It will literally follow up with up to 8 times with every single prospect who opts into your Facebook ads. It'll capture all their information from the call and it'll upload it directly into your CRM. So the call recording, the call summary, the call transcript, the objections, all of that gets uploaded back into your CRM. And so you can see here high level what's going on in the lead conversion process. You have a Facebook ad, right, which captures their information. This will then go and update your CRM. And then there's the initial AI voice contact that occurs. So this is the simple automation that's going on, right? New Facebook lead comes in. It creates that contact and then it adds a specific tag. Once they're added as a tag within your CRM, it'll essentially come down one of these routes and make that initial call, which triggers this automation and passes all of those variables dynamically from the Facebook ad. So it'll get their name, their email, their phone number, any other questions that the prospect might have filled out on that instant form on Facebook. And then it essentially makes the call here. And all that's happening here is instead of it saying, hi, it's going to say, hi, Kevin, or hi, whatever these dynamic variables are, the AI agent will know that information on the call. And so this is what's making that initial call. And so then we get to the lead engagement process, right? So you have this bucket of people who fill out your ad and they're either going to answer or not answer that phone call. If they don't answer the phone call, right, we have an automated follow-up that occurs in your contact's time zone. So if you're an international client and you call people from all around the world, it'll make sure to follow up during their active business hours when they're most likely to pick up the phone. And that's what's going on here. It calls them once, it calls them twice, 3 times, 4 times, and it'll just continue to call them until they answer based on the frequency that you have set. Now, once they've answered that call, your AI voice agent is going to have a conversation with them, be able to book them into your Google Calendar. It could also send texts or emails. It could take any action on your behalf. And then lastly, after the call has completed, we use AI to analyze the call, determine if they're interested or not, if they're qualified or not, right? So if they're qualified, if they're not qualified, and then if they booked into a meeting or if they didn't book into a meeting. All the while, this is updating your GoHighLevel. It's triaging them somewhere in your pipeline. So if they've filled out the form, if we've tried contacting them, and then if they've booked into a meeting or not. And then lastly, updating their contact information with all of the info that was obtained during that call. And then lastly, all of that information gets exported to Google Sheets for data analysis. So you can generate analytics dashboards like the one you see right here, creating visual data representations and insights on behalf of your client. And from there, you can take that information and you can refine your AI agent to improve its performance. So that now that you understand the entirety of how this flow works, we're going to be diving in and building this out from scratch together. So for this, we have 3 scenarios that are going on today. The first one is going to be capturing that information from your Facebook ad, your lead ad. It's going to be creating them as a contact and then adding a tag to that specific contact within GoHighLevel. So to do this, you're going to have to make your connection to Facebook ads. And so we're going to create a webhook. So you're just going to go ahead and hit add, and you're going to have to make a connection to Facebook. So you just hit save. You're going to sign in like you normally would to Facebook. So just like I've selected here. And then you'll have access to all your lead forms that you've created. And you can create these lead forms directly within Facebook ads. So once that's done, you can just go ahead and hit save. That webhook will be created. And then the only field that you need to select here is the field data field, which will pull that information from your Facebook ad. Now my setup right here, I did set multiple variables, and then I did create the contact, and I added the tag using OAuth 2.0 request. But there's actually a much simpler way to do this, which is to GoHighLevel lead connector, and you're just going to click update a contact, and from there you're going to hit add connection type GoHighLevel company, and then the API key, which you can get from going into settings and then just copying or generating your API key here. And now you can pass those fields such as the email or the phone that are getting pulled from your field data. So you can just update phone, what do you go here, phone number, email, first name, last name. So you would do that. That's going to create your contact within GoHighLevel. So make sure you're on the create a contact module. And then after that, you're going to update a contact. And so the contact ID is going to be the contact ID from the previous step. And then I have all of these tags that are created. My trigger within my automation right here, you can see is Facebook lead tag added. So you're going to want to create that Facebook tag. And to do that, you just come into settings, you'll go to tags, and then you can just create all the tags that you want. And while you're here, you should create Facebook lead, you should create interested, not qualified, qualified, because they will come in handy later in the flow. So you're just going to check Facebook lead, the rest you can leave blank, and you can hit save. And so now what's going to happen is that when that Facebook lead comes through, it's going to create them as a contact and add a tag to them, which then triggers within GoHighLevel, and it's going to come down here, it's going to hit this big condition. And so this condition is going to check if the workflow trigger is Facebook lead tag added, which it is in this case. It'll come down this path, and then these would be your different sources. So I have a website form people can submit. I also have a Facebook lead tag. So it comes down here, it updates them within the pipeline. So now they become an engaged lead within that pipeline. And then it's going to make an initial phone call using a webhook, which is this automation right here. So you're going to go ahead, you're going to create a custom webhook. So this is what will be placing calls on behalf of your company. And you're just going to paste in the URL right here that you copied. And then you're going to need the first name, the email, the phone number, as well as the times called set to 0. So times called is a custom field that is created, and we're setting it to 0 to let our AI agent know that we haven't tried calling this person yet. And in order to create that custom field, same thing, come into settings, custom fields. You're going to add a field. I do multi-line for pretty much everything. You're going to put times called. I put it under additional info, but you can put it under contact if you want to see it a little easier and you don't have to scroll. And then you're going to hit save. That's going to create the times called field that you're going to require. So now when that Facebook lead gets filled and it comes down this, hits this specific condition, it will create them as an engaged lead within your pipeline, and then it'll place that phone call, passing that information, which will then grab your assistant from VAPI, pass all of those variables dynamically, and then finally make the call and update GoHighLevel so that we know that we've now called this person once right? So all this is doing is it's adding 1 to the times called custom field that we've created, and it switches the call status to pending. And there are 3 statuses. It's either going to be answered, no answer, or pending. You're going to need to create another field here. So you can see these are all the custom fields that I have: call status, interest level, qualification status, booking status, business description, automation needs. So these are all the qualifying questions that I have: objection, pain points, motivations, preferred solutions, and then call summary, call recording. And so if you come back into custom fields, I would just create all of those. So times called, create call status, create interest level, create qualification status, as well as booking status. And then these are the 4 qualifying questions that I have my voice agent ask. So such as business description, automation needs, monthly revenue, investment willingness. And then make sure you have a call summary, call recording, and call URL. And so the first thing we're going to need to do is set 3 variables. So we have the VAPI assistant key, the VAPI phone key, and the VAPI API key. And so if we come into VAPI under assistants, you'll see that every assistant has a unique key. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to copy that key, and under variable value, you're just going to paste in that assistant key right here. Then we're also going to want to do the same with phone key and API keys. So to get those, you'd come into phone numbers. You'll have to buy a phone number if you don't have one. And now you have your API, your phone key right here. And if you come down into where your profile is, click on it and click on API keys, you now have access to your API key. Paste those in the 2 other fields, and that's pretty much it. So next step, we want to get that assistant from VAPI. So what we're doing is calling out to this specific endpoint, and we're passing the VAPI assistant key, and we want to get that assistant, right? So the method is going to be get, and then for your header, you're going to need authorization, bearer, and then your VAPI API key. So now what this is going to do is it's going to grab your assistant. But right now, if we go into this specific assistant that we're grabbing, you'll see that there are some fields such as current time that we have to update and pass back in order to make that call. And so now we're going to be creating our dynamic assistant, and all we are doing here is we're setting the variable name equal to the data from the previous step. So you can see here, this is the data. So it's just pretty much the entire code format of your voice agent is contained within data. Then we're going to use a parse JSON module, and all we're doing is we're assigning a specific tag with a value, right? So we need the first name, we're passing the first name, which came dynamically from that webhook. We're getting the current time, the phone number, as well as the email. Now that we've used that parse JSON module to create those dynamic variables, you'll see that we have a tag and a value associated with every that we've created. We're now going to use a get variable. We're going to get that dynamic assistant, and then we are going to set those dynamic variables to our now dynamic assistant. So we get our assistant. I know this might sound kind of confusing and it's pretty complex, so I'm just going to break it down right here. So we get our assistant from VAPI, but our assistant is missing the dynamic variables that came from the Facebook ad form. So now we're going to create a variable called dynamic assistant, which is the code request that is making these phone calls within VAPI. We then create all our different dynamic variables, so first name, phone number, all of those good things. And then we are going to get that dynamic assistant that we created. We are going to add all of those variables to dynamic assistant, right? So variable name is dynamic assistant, and we are going to be replacing where you see the tag, right? So here's the tag with the value. That's all that's happening within dynamic assistant. So with this dynamic assistant that we grabbed, we're going to replace first name with Kevin. So if we go into VAPI here, you can see we have the 2 brackets around first name, and then within here we're replacing first name with the value, so it becomes hey Kevin instead of hey first name. And then lastly, we are going to have an array aggregator, so it's going to loop through this for all of the dynamic variables that we've set until it's created a new dynamic assistant for us. And so to do that, you're going to want to choose the parse JSON module at the beginning, so it loops from the beginning, and then we want to grab the tag and the value from that specific module. So now it's gone, it's created our dynamic assistant for us. We're now going to get that dynamic assistant again using the get variable module. So now we have our AI voice agent with proper first name, the proper time, and then we are going to parse the JSON once again. And the reason for that is because we need to be able to make this phone call in a little bit, but it needs to be in a specific format. But the format that it was output contains some additional information that won't make this call request be successful if we don't add this in. So we are going to have another array aggregator connected to this parse JSON module. And then we are just going to grab the name, the model, the voice, the server URL, message plan, transcriber, first message, client messages, pretty much everything with a few checked off, right? And these are pretty much all of the settings within VAPI already. So we're just grabbing those settings. And so then what that does is, because it's gone through an array aggregator, it comes back in an array. So we are just grabbing the first element of that array with this transform to JSON module right here. Just grabbing the first instance essentially. And then we are going to make that call request. So this is the URL. It's going to be a post method. And then the authorization bearer key is going to be the VAPI API key. And then this is the final request content. So this comes straight from VAPI. You get the VAPI phone key, the number, the name, as well as the assistant. And this is what's going to place the call successfully. So congrats, because I know that was a lot to cover, but it's made our call now. And then it's going to wait for 5 seconds, because if you don't have this step, it actually creates the contact so fast and makes the call so fast that GoHighLevel doesn't even have a chance to update itself to be able to find that contact. So I had to put in this step to give GoHighLevel enough time for that contact to register within their system. And then lastly, we're going to search for that contact by phone number. We're going to return one result. We're going to get that contact, so grab the contact ID. And then lastly, we're going to update a contact where we're adding the times called +1 and the call status set to pending. And so this is important because, as you can see, we have a few different triggers here, right? So we have call status equals answered or no answer. So what's happening is we've now added 1 to the amount of times that this person's been called, but the workflow trigger also needs to be call status equals to no answer. So if it just switched into no answer immediately, what would happen is it would fire this automation again before that first call had even finished. So we want to make sure that this person truly did not answer before attempting to contact them again. And so now that call is currently being made to your client, and they're either going to answer or not answer. And this is where this second automation comes in handy. So these are for all your tool call requests. These are for all the call is answered, the post processing, and updating your CRM accordingly. So once again, it's going to start with a webhook. So go ahead, copy this webhook. Then within your VAPI, there's going to be an advanced section. So click on that advanced section. And then you can come to your server URL and just paste in that webhook link. And then for the client messages, you want to make sure tool calls and tool call results are checked. And then for server messages, we want the end of call report, hang, tool calls, and transfer destination request. So what this webhook is only going to fire when we receive tool calls. So when we want to do certain actions, such as get availability, book them into our calendar, or the end of call report where we're checking, hey, does this transcript exist? Because with every single call, there's going to be a transcript. If that transcript does exist, we're going to search the contacts within GoHighLevel. We're going to be grabbing that contact information. Then we run it through ChatGPT. What we're saying is your task is to determine if the call should be categorized as either connected with interaction or no answer, and provide only one of these two outcomes explicitly, right? So choose connected with interaction if the call was successful. There's a couple of different situations where they ask questions, they show any degree of interest, or no answer where the call is busy, the call went to voicemail, there's very little interest. And then lastly, we're saying review the ended reason, any transcript data, make the best classification. Your response must only contain either connected with interaction or no answer. Don't provide any other detail or explanations. Here's the ended reason and here's the message summary. And those are both coming from the previous step, where you can go message ended reason or message summary right here. And you could also put transcript in instead of summary. They'll get more accurate results, but it'll cost you more through GPT. After that, we're going to toss in a router. And what's happening here is it's either going to be, hey, the customer picked up, or no, the customer did not pick up. If the customer did not pick up, so you can see here, if the result is no answer, I'm going to update GoHighLevel. We're going to update that call status to no answer. And now what that is going to do, right, is it's going to trigger this call status has changed to no answer. And because it's changed to no answer, it sets off this trigger, which then checks this condition. It says, hey, we've called this person one time and they didn't answer. So come down this specific branch. We are now going to update that opportunity into attempted contact stage. So now we've tried contacting them. We're going to wait 10 minutes and we're going to try calling them again. And so you can see right here, we have this wait. We turn on the advanced window and we're only going to be calling them from 9 to 5. We want to be calling them during their work hours. We're going to be placing that call again. So you can literally just copy this phone call element, paste it in here. And then the only thing that changes is times called becomes 1 now. And so on and so forth with all these. Times called becomes 2, 3, 4, 5. Every time it gets updated by 1. And the rest is just wait timers. So you set the different wait timers that you want. If after 8 times we switch them in the pipeline to, hey, this is a lead that's probably not going to convert. And then within settings, it's super important that you specify the time zone as the contact time zone, so that it's going to call them in their time zone and not in your local 9 to 5 time zone. If you're doing local, it's not really an issue, but if you're doing international contacts, it's super important to have this on. Right, awesome. So, hey, customers picked up. Right? If the customer did pick up, so the result is connected with interaction, next thing we're going to do is check the interest level. Are they interested or not? And so it follows a very similar up to the previous step where either categorize them as interested or not interested. You know, what determines if they're interested or not? You decide that. Curiosity about specific details, willingness to learn more, not interested if they state this isn't for me or provide minimal information. Then you have the message ended reason and the call summary. And so when it hits the next router, which is going to analyze the results from the interest level. If they're not interested, we just change them to not interested within our CRM. We set the call status to answered, the interest level to not interested. Then we have the call summary, the call recording, and the transcript at the bottom. And within this workflow, you see we have a second trigger, which is call status equals to answered. Now it'll come down here, hit this call status equals to answered portion. Then it's going to look at the interest level. It determines the interest level is not interested. To add that specific tags, the tag is not interested. Going to update them within the pipeline, so now they become not interested. And then lastly, execute that webhook, and that's pretty much it. Now, if they are interested, just update the contact interest level to interested. Next, we check if they're qualified or not. Within your system prompts, within VAPI, you can set your qualifying questions here, and then that becomes the fields that you'd fill out here. Are you qualified? Are you not? Based on the answer to these questions. Are they making more than 10K a month? Are they willing to invest? If they're not qualified, well, these are the different things that it's going to check for. And after that, same thing hits router. You're either not qualified or you're qualified. These paths are identical. So if you're not qualified, update the qualification status with not qualified. And then same for booking status. Did they book or not? If they did book, update the contact booking status to call booked. And then lastly, we're using this really cool module, which is called transform text to structured data. So the text to parse is going to be the transcript. And then what we're saying is you're an AI assistant analyzing transcript to extract key qualifying questions. And then we want to get the business description, all of those qualifying questions. And we are structuring that data. So become individual variables that we can then plug back into your CRM to GoHighLevel. So you have the business description, the description, the value example, the type of data it is, and we do this for all 4 of them. So when it comes time to updating my contact at the end of this call, you can see I now have access to all of these responses as variables. We do the same with objections, the same with key sales insights, and then within GoHighLevel, updating a contact, we're going to pass all of that information dynamically. We're going to update the call summary, the call recording, the transcript, and we're going to flip the call status to answer now, which is going to trigger this, come down into call status equal to answer, and follow the unique path. So it's going to be interested, are they qualified or not, did they book in or not, and I'll send internal notifications if they did book into a call, add different tags along the way, which will move them within the pipeline. Then lastly, we pass all of that information to Google Sheets. You can see here I have the phone number, the ended reason, all of that information, as well as the business description, automation needs, etc. With that, you can start to create data dashboards and start to analyze where people are dropping off and refine voice agent from there. So this is a pretty massive build. I'm pretty sure a lot of you will have a ton of questions for me on this. Again, if you are interested in getting free access to the community, you can get free instant access right here. If you are looking to implement AI within your business, there is a call right here. We can hop on a call and chat, see if we're a good fit to work together. If you did get value out of this, please consider subscribing. It's free, helps support the channel, and allows me to continue making more videos like this. That being said, I hope you have an incredible day. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.